Hello guys, you're welcome back to Victory Corner Instagram handle. It is well with you. We have an interesting broadcast to keep your day going, and this is a testimony, or rather confession from Pastor Eno Jerry, the wife of the founder of Streams of Joy, Pastor Jerry, sharing her experience with us with regards to her marriage, how she almost wrecked her marriage by herself. All right, so just sit tight and enjoy this short video. We'll try to make it short so that you can actually get the main story. It is well with you.
I'm excited to be here, actually.
I'm excited
Yes,
to
I'm
have you
excited.
here. When I saw your book, all I needed was like the title. I saw the title, but I was like,
Okay.
First things first, a Nigerian
Yes.
wrote this kind of book. And then you added My True Life Story. Tell us about this book. Give us the backstory into this book.
This book actually came from a place of prayer. Before now, I've written about 3-4 books. I haven't published any yet.
Interesting.
Yes, so I've just been writing, but I haven't.
So you're a writer.
So
we're
yes,
all writers.
yes,
You've been expressing,
you know. And there was an afternoon I was praying and I asked God, I wanted to write something that He would want me to write, and He should tell me what to write, and I want something that would be easy to write. So that evening, surprisingly, my husband came back that day and he said that God just dropped it in his heart that I should write a book about my marriage, about my own experience, in marriage, so I actually have that conversation.
Yeah.
So I went back, and that was how it came, because everything I said in the book, what I did.
You said very deep.
Yes.
And you revealed
Yes.
raw things you don't like to talk about parts of the world.
Yes, and one of the challenge, initially, because if people want to tell their stories, but because
of how you think people
will
then
perceive,
exactly.
they'll perceive you
Yes.
and what they will say or won't say. But because I knew it was God that was telling me to write, would say or what they wouldn't say, and also considering that a lot of marriages are going through, sit on the counseling table and you hear what's going on in a home.
Totally.
You just know, and when you're trying to explain to them and tell them, oh no, you can do. You don't understand. So, and at that point, I can't start telling them. So, but this book is now like, okay, I have done this thing. So even so you're there, everybody sees you like one
perfect. You're such a saint.
That all of that, was all I had to think. Sincerely, I wasn't bothered because I knew. And the day I writing this book, surprisingly, that morning I was praying and God told me that I must finish this book to go out. And He started telling me a couple of things that will happen after I finish writing this book. All those things have happened in such a short period of time. Yes.
Into the content of the book. So the book is obviously about the fact that you had a bad attitude in marriage.
Yes.
You had anger issues. Things and how you express bitterness. We have a mouth issue. Depending on how you use it matters.
Yes.
For those that have marriage, what we then go to the concepts of the book.
Okay. Because when you get married, I got married at a young age.
Yes, so you said you met your husband at the age of 9.
I think when I met him, we went out for 5 years before we got married, So, and the to play with the way, I became. I grew up in a home where, you see your parents fight, so, and I never knew, like my mom maybe was hot-tempered or anything. I wrote the book and I was telling her what I wrote because they saw it on Facebook.
How did your parents?
And they're like, what did she? Calls me on the phone, even my dad. her what the content of the book. And she said, well, it's really true. If it up another family, actually, when those days, I knew my mom was hot-tempered.
Was
yeah
supposed to be.
So I grew up, with that, that's how things are, are done. That it's only when you start fighting physically that's when things
resolve the matter.
And that's when things have gone too far. But you can shout, you can get angry, you can raise your voice. So it was a normal thing for me. So my surprise was when I got married and it all became an issue, and I'm like, I've been like this all these years. Everybody loves me the way I am, so why is it now a problem? That was me. The me, that was what formed the book. So basically it's just me sharing my experiences. And another thing was that I loved going for marriage classes, relationship classes. I started praying. I said in the book I started praying when I was 16.
Yes. To get
married.
Yes.
So I started praying quite early. So I would go for every marriage class, all these seminars they do in university.
Technically, you were preparing
I was preparing
for this marriage.
And why I was preparing was because of where I was coming from. So I didn't want to make the same mistake.
So you knew. So at the same time, while what you had seen modeled before you was fighting, a part of you also knew that this was not necessarily right.
Yes, I knew it wasn't right. I knew it wasn't right because when we were growing up, we'll be crying when we saw our parents.
When you saw them fighting.
Yeah, so we'll cry, and I knew it wasn't right. So I always tell God, five things to look. All those prescriptions.
Like it's a drug, like
yeah,
take it,
and not telling you the reason. So I never heard the things in my book. If I heard them, I'm sure it would have helped me.
One of the things I liked you said was because I don't. Oh, you talk a lot. Be a lawyer. Society was. Because that. That's why I am.
Yes, and the place of weakness, and society is validating it. That's I said it that I had two people offer me to sponsor me actually in school to study law. One was before marriage, the other one was while I was married. So imagine I'm in a marriage and my husband is complaining and someone is telling me,
go
and study law. I'm going to pay.
Well.
You can, because I could argue. So when I argue, you can't win me in an argument. And it's not because I'm arguing with facts, but just because I won't give up. So you will get tired.
So you might even be wrong, but you're arguing.
Yes.
That's wrong.
Oh, yes. And you will get tired, so you will back out. And I'm like, okay, I've won. So it was always about winning. So that also, it really played. And you imagine, when you're married to a man, if you do such things, a man wants to, there are times they just want to say something, and whatever they say, you just take it.
Yes.
Everything, even whether you like it or not. So, but there's nothing you say that I'm going to take because I have an opinion. I always had an opinion, so it was a problem.
So we need to go on a break now, but when we come back, I'll also go into the specific concepts, because you said many interesting things in this book that I think that a lot of people need to unlearn certain things and learn, because a lot of us are the products of our past, and you don't realize how it's affecting the present and how it would even affect the future. But we'll go on a short break now. This is a very interesting conversation. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. We'll go on a short break now, and we will be right back.
I just need a little piece of information from you.
Right, guys, we hope you are enjoying so far. There's a deep lesson in this. We hope you pick it up. All right. Yeah, she's giving us raw information. I'll be hoping it will help you out there who is having similar challenge to address yours.
You're Welcome back to Chapters, and today we're talking about attitude in our marriages and the effect that our attitude can have on the state and the success of our marriages. And with me is Pastor Eno Jerry, the author of the book, I Almost Ruined My Marriage. But let's go deep into the book, like I said, and one of the first things you said was the fact that you had anger issues, which you then took into your marriage. How did that affect the relationship between you and your husband? How are you manifesting your anger issues in your marriage?
Okay, I did different things, and I'm going examples, because I usually would be very angry, so at times I would, the problem is that when you're angry, you don't even know what you do. You forget. People that are angry forget easily. It's the people
those that you did it to
that will remember the things you did.
That's true.
So there are a lot of things that I did that I can't